When holiday spirit meets catastrophic judgment, the results are as shocking as they are preventable. These 5 Christmas Day tragedies prove that sometimes the most dangerous gift under the tree is human stupidity, and the price paid was the ultimate one. It was December 25th, 2017, and dawned crisp and clear in Riverside, California, with morning temperatures around 45 degrees under a cloudless sky and frost glinting on suburban lawns. The quiet residential neighborhood was blanketed in Christmas morning stillness, with excellent visibility across the landscape of Victorian-era homes. Derek James Patterson, a 32-year-old car salesman known for elaborate pranks, would make a fatally misguided decision after spending Christmas Eve drinking heavily at his sister Lisa's house. The Victorian-era home featured a narrow brick chimney from the 1890s with an opening well below modern safety standards that hadn't been used for heating in years. When Derek noticed his 8-year-old nephew's disappointment that Santa hadn't touched the cookies by the fireplace, he announced his plan to surprise the children by entering through the chimney dressed as Santa. Despite the clear morning light that revealed the chimney's inadequate dimensions and his family's protests about his size and intoxication, Derek retrieved the rented Santa suit from his car, determined to play the hero. Security footage from a neighbor's doorbell camera captured Derek positioning a 16-foot aluminum ladder against the house. He climbed to the roof carrying the red suit, his movements slightly unsteady from the previous night's alcohol consumption. Derek lowered himself feet first into the chimney opening. The brick walls immediately compressed against his chest and shoulders as he descended 4 feet into the flue. His arms became pinned above his head, preventing any upward movement, with only the lower portion of his boots visible from the fireplace below. The narrow passage created a constriction that was too tight to move up or down, with his own body weight settling him deeper into the flue. Inside the house, his brother-in-law Mark heard muffled calls for help echoing from the fireplace. Mark called 911 while placing cushions beneath Derek's feet to prevent injury from the iron grate. The family could see his boots but had no way to pull him down due to the chest-level obstruction above. Responding fire units arrived shortly after the call. A supervising officer assessed the situation from both the roof and interior, determining that Derek was likely suffering from restricted breathing due to compression inside the chimney. The rescue plan required cutting through the exterior chimney wall to create an access point without causing structural collapse. Firefighters began using a concrete saw to cut through the brick exterior while monitoring Derek's condition from below. His responses grew progressively weaker as his ability to breathe effectively became increasingly compromised. The cutting process had to proceed slowly to avoid vibrations that could shower debris into his airway. Derek's vocalizations eventually stopped entirely. Firefighters continued the methodical cutting process, knowing that rushing could worsen the situation. They created a sufficient opening to insert hydraulic spreaders, gradually widening the constriction point that trapped his torso. The spreaders provided enough clearance to begin extraction. Derek's unconscious body was carefully lowered into the living room, where paramedics immediately began resuscitation efforts. His skin showed the blue-gray pallor of severe oxygen deprivation, and his pupils were fixed and dilated. Despite advanced cardiac life support measures, no pulse could be restored. Derek was pronounced dead at the scene by responding paramedics. A subsequent coroner's examination determined the cause of death to be positional asphyxia, with alcohol intoxication listed as a contributing factor. His blood alcohol content measured 0.12%. The official incident report documented the chimney's interior dimensions, the stuck damper position, and abrasion patterns on the brick walls. Evidence recovered included the doorbell camera footage showing his ladder placement, the recorded 911 call, and radio logs tracking the rescue operation. Investigators found fabric fibers from the Santa suit embedded in the brick at the constriction point, confirming the exact location where Derek became trapped. The family had the chimney permanently sealed following the incident. Derek's death became a case study used by fire departments to illustrate the dangers of confined space emergencies. Meanwhile, in Charleston, South Carolina, Penelope Worthington was putting the finishing touches on what she believed would be the perfect end to her family's Christmas dinner, a decision that would make this holiday meal unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. It was December 25, 2015, in Charleston, South Carolina, where unseasonably warm air settled over the historic district and kept indoor temperatures high despite the holiday. Overcast skies pressed humidity into the narrow streets, and by early evening, many older homes felt stifling even with windows cracked open. Along Meeting Street, Christmas gatherings filled dining rooms designed long before modern ventilation or fire safety standards. Penelope Worthington, 52, was a real estate agent who specialized in historic properties and was well known among friends for turning ordinary dinners into elaborate productions. That Christmas, she insisted on hosting an authentic old-world holiday, complete with heavy drapes, antique furnishings, and a flambé dessert finale. Several guests had already expressed concern earlier in the day about the heat, the fabric-heavy decor, and the decision to use open flame indoors. But Penelope dismissed the warnings as unnecessary caution. The dining room ceiling stood just over 8 feet high. A crystal chandelier with a fabric lampshade hung low over the table, positioned for visual effect rather than safety. Windows remained closed to maintain the atmosphere despite the warm weather. Throughout the afternoon and dinner service, Penelope consumed multiple glasses of wine, growing increasingly animated as she described the final presentation she'd been planning for weeks. Just after 6:30 p.m., she moved into the kitchen to prepare the dessert. Instead of using standard cooking spirits, she chose a 151 proof rum, adding extra alcohol moments before serving to ensure a dramatic ignition. Her husband suggested skipping the flame entirely, pointing out the ceiling height and nearby fabrics. Penelope waved him off and carried the pudding into the dining room, positioning herself directly beneath the chandelier so every guest could see. She struck a wooden match and touched it to the surface. The alcohol vapor ignited instantly, producing a tall flare that rose higher than expected. The flame brushed the chandelier's fabric shade, which ignited within seconds. Burning fragments dropped onto Penelope's shoulders and the front of her synthetic holiday dress. The material began to melt and burn, sticking to her skin as the fire spread upward into her hair. Instead of stopping, dropping, and rolling, Penelope panicked. She turned and ran toward the kitchen, feeding the flames with movement. As she crossed the doorway, the fire intensified and smoke thickened behind her. Her husband threw water from a nearby pitcher, which knocked down some visible flames, but did nothing to reverse the severe damage already done. She collapsed in the hallway, unconscious, having inhaled superheated air and smoke. Guests called emergency services within minutes. Fire crews arrived to find smoke filling the first floor and active fire damage in the dining room. Paramedics located Penelope unresponsive, with extensive burns across her upper torso, arms, neck, and face. She was intubated on scene and transported to a regional burn center. Despite aggressive treatment, including ventilation support and fluid resuscitation, Penelope died later that night. The medical examiner listed the cause of death as complications from thermal burns and smoke inhalation, noting that the high-proof alcohol and indoor ignition created an uncontrollable flash fire. The fire marshal's investigation confirmed that the use of 151 proof rum beneath low ceilings and fabric fixtures directly caused the rapid flame spread. Residue from the accelerant was found throughout the dining area. Damage to the historic home exceeded $80,000. The incident was ruled entirely preventable. In Boise, Idaho, 19-year-old Marcus Williams was unwrapping what he believed would be the perfect Christmas gift, completely unaware that his eagerness to demonstrate his newfound skills would turn a family celebration into a scene that would haunt his relatives forever. It was December 25th, 2016, in Boise, Idaho, where overnight snowfall left nearly 8 inches of fresh powder and temperatures around 28 degrees. A quiet residential neighborhood sat muted under gray skies. Inside a ranch-style home, 19-year-old engineering freshman Marcus Anthony Williams prepared to test equipment he wasn't experienced enough to handle. The Williams family living room was warm and cozy, with a crackling fireplace casting dancing shadows across walls, decorated with holiday garland and family photos. Their 9-foot Fraser fir tree stood positioned near the hearth in a heavy cast-iron stand, surrounded by carefully wrapped presents waiting for the traditional Christmas morning exchange. Marcus's parents, Dana and Carl, along with his 16-year-old sister Tia, had gathered around the tree, unaware that Marcus's 6 months of indoor archery range practice and his enthusiasm for outdoor equipment that far exceeded his actual experience would soon shatter their peaceful holiday morning. Marcus's main gift was a professional compound bow with a 70-pound draw weight, complete with razor-sharp broadhead hunting arrows designed for taking down large game. The bow represented a significant upgrade from his beginner equipment. His parents suggested he take professional lessons before attempting any serious practice. The moment Marcus unwrapped the bow, his excitement became uncontainable. He immediately began handling broadhead arrows designed with wide cutting edges for hunting. Despite his parents' repeated requests to wait until he could practice outdoors safely, Marcus insisted on demonstrating his skills indoors. He claimed he could easily hit a specific ornament on the Christmas tree from across the room. Marcus positioned himself approximately 15 feet from the tree, knocking one of the broadhead arrows onto the bowstring. The living room provided barely adequate space for archery, with furniture and family members creating obstacles. His father attempted to intervene, but Marcus had already drawn the bow to full anchor point, aiming at a glass ornament. The 70-pound draw weight proved more challenging than Marcus anticipated. His inexperience caused him to lose control during the release sequence. The arrow departed at a slight downward angle, missing the target completely. Instead of embedding in the tree, the arrow struck the rim of the cast-iron tree stand at high velocity. The broadhead deflected sharply off the metal surface at an oblique angle, crossing back through Marcus's stance line as he shifted forward during the release. The razor-sharp hunting point penetrated his right thigh just below the groin area, lacerating the femoral artery. The arrow's momentum drove the broadhead several inches into his upper thigh muscle. Arterial blood immediately began spraying in rhythmic pulses across the hardwood floor. Marcus collapsed within seconds as his blood pressure dropped rapidly. His father attempted to apply direct pressure while his mother called emergency services. The family attempted to apply a tourniquet using a belt, but their lack of medical training resulted in improper placement below the knee. Emergency medical crews arrived within 8 minutes and found Marcus unconscious and pale, having lost a critical volume of blood. Responders immediately applied a commercial tourniquet high on his thigh and established intravenous access. Despite rapid intervention and aggressive treatment, Marcus went into cardiac arrest during transport. He was pronounced dead at a regional medical center after unsuccessful resuscitation attempts. The attending physician determined that a femoral artery laceration had caused fatal exsanguination despite the family's attempts to control the bleeding. A county medical examiner's investigation documented the arrow's trajectory and impact pattern. Evidence recovered included Marcus's smartphone, which had been recording the gift opening session. The footage captured the arrow's release and deflection, helping investigators confirm the sequence of events. The official report concluded that the accident resulted from improper indoor use of hunting equipment. The broadhead arrow's design, combined with the hard metal surface of the tree stand, created a ricochet effect that proved fatal. We've got 2 more shocking stories coming up, so hit that subscribe button if you want to see how much worse Christmas morning can get. Meanwhile, in Aspen, Colorado, Brittany Henderson was preparing to capture what she believed would be her most viral social media content yet, completely unaware that her pursuit of online fame would lead to a collision that no amount of followers could prevent. It was December 25th, 2018, in Aspen, Colorado. Fresh snow from the night before covered the mountains under clear blue skies, with temperatures holding near 22 degrees. Bright sunlight reflected sharply off the powder, masking hazardous conditions on steep residential terrain where luxury cabins overlooked long downhill slopes shaped by years of erosion and freeze-thaw cycles. Brittany Nicole Henderson, 26, was visiting her aunt's mountain property for Christmas. She maintained a small social media account focused on lifestyle clips and short stunt videos, often exaggerating risk for attention. Family members later told investigators that Brittany frequently ignored safety advice when filming, believing she could manage situations others considered dangerous. By mid-morning, she had already consumed several mimosas while recording casual holiday content around the cabin. Behind the property was a long slope measuring roughly 200 feet in length, descending at an estimated 35-degree angle toward a dense stand of mature pine trees. While the fresh snow gave the surface a smooth appearance, an icy layer remained beneath from earlier freeze-thaw conditions. The family had clearly designated a safer sledding area higher up the property, away from obstacles and trees, and had warned everyone to stay off the steeper section entirely. Despite these warnings, Brittany became focused on using the steep slope. Relatives told her the terrain was unsafe and pointed out the tree line at the bottom, explaining that once a sled gained speed, there would be no way to stop. Brittany dismissed the concerns, insisting she would stay in control and that the run would only last a few seconds. She chose a lightweight plastic saucer sled stored on the property, a design that offered no steering, braking, or stability. By mid-afternoon, Brittany climbed to the top of the steepest section carrying the saucer. She mounted her phone in a chest harness to record the descent and positioned herself facing downhill. From her vantage point, the slope appeared manageable, but uneven ice patches and buried rocks were concealed beneath the powder. Wearing no protective gear and without a plan to slow herself, she pushed off. The sled accelerated almost immediately. The icy surface reduced friction, causing the saucer to pick up speed faster than Brittany anticipated. Within seconds, the sled began spinning, preventing her from orienting her body or attempt any form of control. Roughly halfway down the slope, the saucer struck a partially buried rock, jolting violently. The impact destabilized Brittany, separating her from the sled and sending her sliding uncontrollably toward the tree line. She struck a pine tree head first at high speed. The impact caused catastrophic trauma to her upper cervical spine, resulting in immediate loss of neurological function. Her body came to rest at the base of the tree, motionless. A family member reached Brittany within minutes and called emergency services while avoiding any attempt to move her. Due to the steep terrain, deep snow, and distance from the nearest access road, responders required additional time to reach the site on foot. When medical personnel arrived, Brittany showed no signs of life. The severity of her injuries was incompatible with survival, and she was pronounced dead at the scene. The medical examiner determined that the cause of death was a traumatic cervical spine fracture sustained during the collision with the tree. Investigators documented the sledding path, impact location, surface conditions, and equipment used. Brittany's phone was recovered near the scene and confirmed the sequence of events leading up to the collision. The official report concluded that the death resulted from deliberate use of inappropriate sledding equipment on a steep, icy slope, despite explicit warnings and safer alternatives being available. The incident was ruled entirely preventable. 2,000 miles away in Mobile, Alabama, Billy Ray Johnson was staring up at his Christmas tree with growing frustration, completely unaware that his solution to a simple holiday decorating problem would soon transform his living room into a scene that would forever change how his family viewed the season. It was December 25th, 2017, and a mild winter day had settled over Mobile, Alabama, with temperatures reaching 68 degrees under partly cloudy skies and humid air that made the afternoon feel unseasonably warm. The quiet suburban neighborhood was filled with the sounds of children playing with new Christmas toys and families gathering on front porches to enjoy the pleasant weather. Billy Ray Johnson, a 38-year-old construction foreman known for relying on improvised do-it-yourself solutions, had been celebrating Christmas morning with a combination of holiday cheer and steadily increasing beer consumption since 10 a.m. Their modest ranch home featured a living room with standard 10-foot ceilings that had seemed perfectly adequate when they selected their Christmas tree. However, the 12-foot Fraser fir they had chosen was now creating a significant problem. The tree's top section was bent against the ceiling, crushing several ornaments and creating an unsightly bow that Billy Ray found completely unacceptable. By mid-afternoon, Billy Ray had consumed approximately 6 beers, enough to enhance his natural confidence while diminishing his judgment. When a family member suggested trimming the tree from the bottom or waiting to hire a professional, Billy Ray dismissed the concern with characteristic stubbornness. The solution In Billy Ray's alcohol-influenced reasoning was simple. He would use his trusty chainsaw to trim exactly 2 feet from the top of the tree while it remained standing in the living room, decorated and in position. Billy Ray retrieved his well-worn chainsaw from the garage, a 15-year-old model that had seen extensive use. The saw's chain brake mechanism had been malfunctioning for several months, occasionally failing to engage properly during kickback situations. Despite repeated suggestions from family members to have it repaired, Billy Ray had continued using the saw. Billy Ray positioned a wooden dining chair next to the tree, directly beneath the bent section that needed removal. The hardwood floors offered no traction for the chair legs, creating hazardous conditions that Billy Ray either ignored or failed to recognize. He started the chainsaw indoors, immediately filling the living room with exhaust smoke and the deafening roar of the engine. He climbed onto the dining chair while holding the running saw, positioning himself precariously beneath the tree's upper branches. As he raised the chainsaw above his head to begin cutting, the saw's bar made contact with the tree trunk at an awkward angle. The binding wood caused an immediate kickback reaction, with the chainsaw's bar snapping back toward Billy Ray's position. Simultaneously, the chair shifted on the smooth hardwood floor, causing him to lose his balance and fall backward. The malfunctioning chain brake failed to engage during the kickback event, leaving the chain running at full speed as Billy Ray fell. The saw's bar arced across his neck and upper chest area, causing catastrophic vascular injury to the neck. The chain continued running briefly after the initial contact, worsening the injury. A family member immediately rushed to Billy Ray's aid, finding him conscious but bleeding profusely from the neck wound. Direct pressure was applied, using kitchen towels while emergency services were called. The arterial bleeding quickly soaked through multiple layers of material. Emergency medical crews arrived within 7 minutes and found Billy Ray in severe hemorrhagic shock. Responders attempted hemorrhage control using direct pressure and hemostatic materials while establishing intravenous access. Despite rapid intervention, his blood pressure continued to fall as blood loss progressed. Billy Ray went into cardiac arrest during transport and was pronounced dead at a regional medical center after resuscitation efforts failed. A county medical examiner documented the scene and inspected the chainsaw involved. Investigators noted signs of a malfunctioning chain brake during the kickback event. Photographs recovered from Billy Ray's phone, taken minutes before the accident, showed the tree's placement. The death was ruled preventable. Thanks for watching. Want to see more? Click on your screen now.